But real quick, I wanted to share with you all the results of the polls that we took on Monday. So if you were here live with us, we asked some questions of each of you that were in the room on Monday. The first one was how many contacts you added to your database in the last week. Not being critical, just being, real and pointing out that most people added less than 5 people to their database, almost 80%. Only about 14% added more than a handful of people. And a big percentage of folks didn't grow their database at all week over week. The next question that we asked was around database size. And this is important, again, for those of you, the pros in the room that have been in the business for a long time and have experienced some massive success. You know that the size of your database directly relates to how many people you can reach and how many people, you're going to confidently call on regularly. So most of the room, almost 75%, have a database of smaller than 400 people, and about 10% haven't started their database yet. And then this is the big one, conversations in the last week that we're going to augment every single Wednesday and often on Mondays as well. We're going to remind you that the most important thing that you can do, the process that you need to fall in love with in your real estate business to move towards mastery of the key skills and increasing your price point, is going to be having conversations. So most people had 5 or less. Only a couple people went more than that. And then the last reminder, you all have seen Traci's guiding North Star reminders every single Monday, and it has been about the time necessary to prospect. And for most of you, we came up with that number of needing to be at about 15 hours a week. For some of you, you can get it done in 6 to 10. But if you notice, almost everybody's in less than 5. So we really want to change that every single week that we get in here. We're absolutely going to work to change that. So that's what we're going to do today, is we are going to change that just a little bit. And before we jump into the work, because our workshop today runs from about 11:08 till about 11:40 or 12:08 till about 12:40, 41. We're going to do a full 30 minutes today. I want to give you guys a really important concept and then a quick check on how you think about your business. So the concept, there's this fantastic book, and I do highly recommend this one. It's called 10X is easier than 2X. Is anybody familiar with that concept of like 10Xing your life or your business or your income or your clientele or whatever it is, 10X? And here's why 10X is easier than 2X. Because if you had 2 conversations this week and you want to have 4 next week, there's like infinite ways you could do that. You could go to the grocery store and talk to 2 more people. You could make 2 more calls. You could send 5 more texts. You could jump into a soccer game with your kid. Like, you could have 2 more conversations with like infinite ways. But what if I told you you needed to have 20 conversations next week? There's probably only like a couple of ways you could do that. You'd say, okay, Curtis, I guess I got to be at 10 networking events next week because I only average 2 conversations per networking event. Or you'd say, okay, Curtis, I guess I'm gonna have to be on the phone for like 6 hours because I only talk to 3 people per hour, and that would get me to 18. So I guess it's 7 hours, right? There's only 1 or 2, 3 pathways to 10Xing anything, whereas there's like infinite pathways to 2Xing. So I'm gonna ask Fish to put our poll. Oh no, maybe I get to do it, right, Fish? I'm gonna put a poll on the screen here. And I'm going to ask you, no, I got it. I got to figure it out quickly. I'm going to ask you guys to pick 2. So you should see a poll on your screen right now. And we have a small enough group that I think it's reasonable to expect everyone to do this. So just pick 2. What are the 2 activities that move your business forward the most? So this is getting you thinking, because here's why it's important to think about this for just a moment. Again, if you believed or even sort of had a hunch that that concept was right for you today, right? The 10X versus 2X. Here's the next really hard truth. And I'm working on this concept in my life in various areas with my son, with a couple of people that I work with. So it's really real for me right now. But here's like the hardest reality about this concept. Okay, so if you believe that 10X is easier than 2X, well, here's what's got to happen next for you. 80% of the things you do in your daily life right now, you've got to move out of the way and stop doing. And the 20% that move you forward the most in that area, you got to do 80% more of those things, or you've got to add new things around that. That's like super scary, right? That means like 8 out of the 10 things you do all day, every day to run your real estate business are going to move to the side so that you can increase your focus on the 2 things that move your business forward. And that'll become the bulk of your time. So that's why we're doing this. And let me see what people think. In general, people think talking to their database, going on appointments, and finding new leads are the top things that move your business forward. I would tend to agree, but I am going to tell you what we're focused on today. And what I think for those of you where I've seen your data and your results, it's talking to new people and finding new people to talk to. Finding new leads and talking to people. Going on appointments are great. Absolutely, it moves your business forward, but it isn't the activity that moves it forward the most singularly. Because if you were talking to 20 people, you'd go on 5 appointments. If you went on 1 appointment and didn't talk to 10 new people that day, you went on 1 appointment. See the difference? One is really, really more powerful. It's an amplifier of the other ones.